Buongiorno a tutti. Prima di cominciare voglio fare una ringraziazione per tutti per l'invito che mi hanno fatto. Sono molto contento di ritornare qui a quest'area. Spero che, come non parlo bene l'italiano, lo farò la presentazione in inglese. What means when we are talking about post-harvest? Post-harvest is the technology what we would like to use to extend the life of the fruit, but the quality is already done at the harvest time. So the quality is related with the agronomic practice done on the trees. Okay, so the post-harvest have to maintain that quality and even time to avoid to reduce the quality with the technology we are using. Okay, so we have to combine those aspects related with the quality we have at the harvest time with the practice we've done in the pre-harvest and with the practice we have with the post-harvest without to reduce that quality, at least maintain the quality. Okay? So what are the main aspects of the deterioration of the fruit when it's harvest? First, we have to deal with the water loss, but mainly with the stem of the fruit. We have to deal with the color of the fruit, because when the fruit is deteriorated, we go to the senescence in the last step of the life of the fruit increase the color. Doesn't mean that increase the amount of anthocyanin. Means the deterioration of the fruit happen in that way because of the change of the pH of the system inside. And also there is a main issue related with quality in terms of flavor. Usually when you go to the very long term of storage, you lose the quality in terms of relation of soluble solid and acidity. You lose the acidity during time. And also have to dealing with the damage on the fruit because of sensitivity of the tissue. And of course, related with cracking, related with the development of the decay. Why happen this especially in this type of fruit? Because of the metabolism of the fruit, especially because of the respiration rate of the fruit. This fruit has a very high respiration rate. Doesn't mean the fruit doesn't mean anything related with the climaterics related with the respiration rate of the fruit. For that reason, if you evaluate the respiration rate of the different variety, you are going to get the relation with the storage capacity of the fruit. We did this many years ago. We evaluate the whole variety in terms, and we classify the variety in terms of the respiration rate. So what happened with the firmness? Usually we talk a lot about the deferment, but deferment is not a parameter, is not related with the maturation of the fruit. It's related with the resistance of the fruit, but not for all the varieties. Some varieties are related with the more firmer fruit, but not the all varieties. But the firmness is related what the people feel is good, especially when you get a very firm fruit, you get the crocus of the fruit. That means that the market wants. So there is a different type of system to evaluate that. So this, I would like to show this information because it's very important, this graph. The fruit, most of the system start from this part of the stage of the fruit, at the color break. That is that period, that is very important period where the cell wall start to degrade and start to increase the sugar in the fruit and start to increase all the flavor and the capacity to expand the fruit. So probably that is the climacteric of this type of fruit. Okay? Why is important? Because at the end, when you are harvesting the fruit doesn't have the capacity to lose the firmness. Doesn't. This is not related at the end of the period, the firmness of the fruit. The firmness of the fruit at that period is related with the osmotic potential of the fruit. It doesn't mean anything with the degradation of the cell wall. So that aspect is really, really important, because you need to understand the aspect related with the osmotic potential of the fruit. And the key part of here is related with how increase the soluble solid in the fruit. So look at what happened with the degradation of the fruit in this aspect. Usually the soluble solid remain the same. This is what happened after storage. We are looking here for several periods in the storage tank. Doesn't happen much with the soluble solid. Look at what happened with the acidity. The acidity go down. Doesn't happen much with the color. The technology remain the color very well, especially the modified atmosphere system. And of course, with what we talking before, the firmness remain the same. If you put the high humidity inside the fruit, around the fruit, using the specific packaging, you are not going to lose any of the firmness of the fruit. But if you put soft fruit on your box, you are going to get soft fruit at the end of the storage. Okay, now I need to talk about the harvest. The harvest is related with the color, and because the color is related with the life of the fruit and the respiration rate of the fruit. So it's a good system to get the information of the activity of the fruit. And you need to pick the color for every variety. Okay, so you need to develop a chart for every variety. And you need to pick the color, and every orchard is going to have different amount of soluble solid at the harvest time. Okay, so you need to pick first the color, and after that you're going to get the soluble solid for each orchard. This is a very, very key aspect to how to manipulate the storage capacity of the different lot for the segregation of the fruit for long-term storage. Okay, if you want to segregate the fruit in terms of the capacity for storage, you need to go to the color first, go to the soluble solid. The higher the soluble solid you get, the better the fruit. The firmness doesn't mean anything, but it doesn't mean anything in terms of the capacity of the storage. Depend on the soluble solid at the stage of color or maturity you select. Okay? Do you understand? Are you following me or no? I need to try again? Okay. Okay, this is another aspect, very important. It's related with the mechanical damage. The mechanical damage of the fruit is related with the elasticity of the fruit. It's not always related with the firmness of the fruit. So we need to develop a different parameter to evaluate the quality of the variety. If you pick variety very firm, doesn't mean it will be resistant for the mechanical damage. So that's it we are working on, to develop a system to segregate variety. And here is some information related with we call the deformation of the tissue. And that way you can segregate variety in terms of sensitivity. For that we develop a system, and this is a system in a statistic way where you can group a variety. The first group here was segregated by statistic. The bean, Regina, Santina, they were the most resistant variety for the pitting. This was the very critical and very sensitive variety, and this is what's in the middle. So now we are working how to segregate the fruit in every variety using this system. Okay, now we are going to talk some about the technology. The first technology we have to use is how to reduce the temperature of the fruit. To reduce the temperature of the fruit, the best way is to use the hydrocooling, low temperature, and using the water. And there is different type of system for hydrocooling. And the main aspect here using these technologies to reduce the respiration rate of the fruit. If we reduce the respiration rate of the fruit, we're going to keep the fruit longer. Okay?